welcome to another video. This video is going to look at another one of my visuals that I've implemented for Power BI. Now, the visual is quite simple in itself, and there's actually a lot of them already in the store and even inbuilt to Power BI. It's just a different variation. The topic is largely around KPIs. You'll notice there are a couple of KPIs inside here. Say we could take the card visual, or we can do the text there. But what I want you to notice is that when I scale this visual is that the text size doesn't change. This can be quite frustrating when it gets to a dashboard or even a mobile device where you really want it to take up the maximum amount of area. Just to really drill that into focus, you'll notice if I go into the default KPI, one that's included in Power BI, you'll notice there, again, that it doesn't actually scale. And that was really the purpose of my visual. Now, before I show you the visual, let's dive into the data that we're going to use as an example for the visual. So I've got sales requests of a company. Now, the company has 4 stages for the sales requests, them being lead, nurtures, proposal, and then the closed deal state. You can see that they're also divided between 2 main sources, those sources being direct customers and other businesses that they interface with. With all this in mind, the company has actually gone forth and actually set for the number of requests in these different categories a series of targets that the business is meant to be meeting for those values. So let's go ahead and let's look at the visual. I call it the Simple KPI Visual. I'll go ahead and put it on the page, and first I'll just take the number of requests. Now the first thing I want you to see is how that 20,842 requests is actually a lot bigger than the visual that's included inside Power BI like I showed before. This is because when you scale the visual, it actually adapts the size of the text to the size of the visual. This makes it incredibly useful, and you can see when it gets really small, it gets really small. I'll go ahead and I'll take and show you that if I put the target on there as well, it does exactly what you would expect with this kind of visual. It goes ahead and colors that background. You'll notice when I scale it as well, it does it accordingly. If I was to go ahead and switch across to the mobile view as well, you'll actually see that this is where it gets extremely useful. So if I do it there and put it on the page, you'll notice that it's able to actually scale and go a lot smaller. Now, it doesn't look too good there because we didn't take off the title, but you can still kind of imagine what it would look like. Now, that's the visual there. I did get some user feedback whilst using the visual that people would love to actually put headers on them. So I'll show you what I mean by that. If I take off the title, you'll notice there's this header support. If I go header, and then maybe I go and just choose sales requests and put that on, you'll notice it puts it inside there. I can then go requests as well, and I've got full control over the size of that font. I've also got control over the margin. Another thing that people do is they'll change the location of it. So it might be on the top, it might be on the bottom, it might be on the left. And that's extremely handy because you just don't get that support with titles at the moment for Power BI. With that as well, it does support the idea of adding in tooltips as well. So you can add extra tooltips to it to add extra information. With that, that is the Simple KPI Visual. It's one of the simpler visuals, and it's really just meant to show the KPI, but do it in a way that's flexible for multiple displays. I hope you have fun using the visual. Submit feedback in the comments, and stay tuned for my next video on this visual where I'll show you how to actually format the visual and take it further.